Hello and welcome back to another day, another live broadcast of Wait Just an InfoSec. My name is Stephen Hart. I'm so very excited to be here on day 4, live from the booth, or SANS booth 4416. If you're here at RSA and you haven't made it over to come visit us and say hello, please do so today. We're giving away some really cool socks and some other fun prizes in the booth. Be sure to stop by. I appreciate all of you who have been rocking with us all week long through many conversations with all of our amazing SANS experts. Today, day 4, I'm so excited to be welcome Melissa Bischoping to the booth and the stage and the live stream.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for rocking with us today.
Absolutely. It is an absolute honor to be here this morning. Yeah, it's still morning, right?
It is still morning.
Still morning.
So for those of you who do not know, Melissa is an endpoint security research specialist with Tanium.
Tanium.
My Jamaican accent does different things to those names. And you're a master's degree student with SANS Technology Institute.
I am indeed.
Yes. So you've been here all week?
I have. I got here Sunday night and have had an action-packed 4 days. So
Yes.
It has been an absolute blast. Marathon, not a sprint.
Is this your first RSA?
This is my first RSA. So I got to attend like the first timers lounge on, I think that was Monday night. Yeah, sounds right.
I didn't even know you had a first timers lounge.
There is. Yeah, there was a first timers. We had great trivia. We got to meet some people who have been coming for, 5, 10, 15 years. So to get to know the ropes.
What's the experience been like this week?
This has been wonderful. What I think is magical about an event like RSA is that you get this cross-section of people in compliance, people in offensive security, people in higher education, people who are making policy at the government level internationally. And there's very few other events in other places in the world where that group of people get together in the same week and have conversations that are really authentic.
Yeah.
So I think that's the magic.
Good stuff. So you've said that networking and attending industry events is very important to you. What does it mean to you to be named an RSA scholar? Congrats.
Thank you. This is an absolute honor. There were, I think, 60 or 70 RSA scholars that are attending from just dozens of institutions here around the country. I've been able to sit down and have conversations with the people that are going to be the future leaders of the industry. And this is bachelor's students, master's students, PhDs. The RSA Security Scholar Program also gave us an opportunity to talk with policymakers, to have these one-on-one conversations. And we had dinner with industry-leading experts. These are legends that we got to sit down and talk to. So the overall program is really about enriching and creating community and connection that we're going to carry through the rest of our careers.
Wow. You say legends. Does that intimidate you? Are you excited when you're in those rooms and spaces?
A little bit of both. I think it's normal to have a little bit of imposter syndrome, but when you sit down and you have these moments of conversation, you realize that these people are just like us.
Yeah.
They all had careers that started in similar places and they've grown and built, and they're as invested in growing the next generation to sort of carry the torch.
Yeah.
So I think it's just as valuable for some of these industry icons and leaders as it is for us.
Melissa, we've been talking for a little bit before we came into the live. You have a very non-traditional path into cyber. What brought you into this space?
I would definitely credit the fact that I am a curious individual by nature who can't leave a problem alone. I actually have a background in psychology. So I have a bachelor's in psychology. I was in my late 20s when I pivoted into tech. Wow. I had been raising my son. I got my psych degree, and I didn't really want to go into academia or into clinical psychology. So on the suggestion of a very good friend and mentor of mine, I pivoted into technology, and that started in doing desktop support and basic security or basic operations. I demonstrated sort of a natural curiosity to solve the security problems and to get involved with those teams. And my leadership at various companies rewarded that with creating positions and creating projects for me to be more actively involved. So I think that what brought me here was both the empathy that the psychology background helped hone, and being able to build the communication and the relationships and understanding the human behavior that sort of creates security problems, but also how to use that to build across the business and across different intersections of the community.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I think it was just curiosity. I think it's being willing to solve a puzzle, being willing to pull at a thread and not let go of it.
So those are some of the strengths that you have. I'm gonna come back to the pivot for a bit, because sometimes we say that and there's so much that happens in that turn, right? Did you have a tech wiring prior to, like, was that an easy transition?
So my high school was really unique in that we were a magnet school. So some states know what that is. Not everyone does.
Yes.
But we had some specialized programs, and we did have a Center for Advanced Technology where I did 2 years of high school. And that was basic stuff. Like we were learning a little bit of programming, a little bit of web development.
We had the exposure.
Right. So I had the exposure early on. And this was in the early 2000s. So I'm dating myself a little bit here. And we're seeing that more and more in high school now, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
But I did have a little bit of exposure and walked away from the tech path and navigated back into it to dive in, about 6 years ago.
That's good. That's good to hear. So I'm going to congratulate you again. I understand your team at SANS.edu, the Sentinels, made the top 10, actually placed 8th out of more than 300 teams at the National Cyber League team competition.
We did.
Congratulations. Confetti on the screen.
Thank you. Special shout out to all of the other members of the SANS Sentinels Team 17. That was our team name. We actually had 3 SANS teams place in the top 10 of the experience bracket. So that's 30% of the experience bracket came from SANS. All of these are my peers and my classmates and people that I've enjoyed learning with and learning from. That experience, this is now, I think, my 3rd year doing the National Cyber League competitions with SANS.
So let me pull you back.
Yeah.
Tell everyone who doesn't know what the National Cyber League is.
Absolutely.
Bring them up to speed.
National Cyber League takes place in the spring and in the fall every year. We have an individual game, we have a team game, and it's a series of cyber competitions ranging from open source intelligence. There's some crypto challenges, there's some malware reversing, there's log analysis. What's great about it, though, is there's sort of an opportunity for everyone at different skill levels, whether you're just starting out and you're in high school, all the way up to the master's and PhD level. We have people that participate every year, and everyone learns something. That's
really neat. What are some tips for people that might want to actually, take part in that competition?
So the National Cyber League, they actually work with a company called Cyber Skyline that has a gymnasium that they put up so you can go and do the practice challenges. They have like a pro membership you can get, so you have access to a back catalog. Go do those. Go read the tips and the hints. They have a really active community, both the SANS CTF Slack channel as well as National Cyber League have their own Discord channel full of people to just give you some tips, hints, tools. It's a learning experience for sure.
I love that. So the thing I love seeing this week, attending RSA, I had the pleasure of attending a reception for the women in cybersecurity a couple nights ago, and seeing a room full of women in cyber. Talking with you, I can tell you have a passion for that too. What's your advice to other women coming into the field right now?
Please come with us. Like we are, the women who are already here in this field, I have found to be really positive about keeping the door open, to welcome others into the space. And that's something I'm equally passionate about. Like I've been very fortunate with the success I've had so far, both academically and professionally. And so my personal goal is to create more of that space at the table for underrepresented groups. What I've found, especially in the women-specific organizations, is we are so eager to share with each other and build a community amongst ourselves and then continue to grow. And, I've also found that more diverse teams, be it academic competitive teams or professional teams at work, the more diverse your team is, the more creative their results are. And we're starting to see that a lot in this industry.
I love that. I believe that you have, are you involved with nonprofits?
So I've done some work with the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu.
Okay.
So they are a nonprofit. They do a ton of workshops, boot camps. They actually have their Cyberjutsu Con taking place, I believe, in June in DC.
Nice.
Mary will probably be mad if I misquoted that timeline. But take a look at them, Women's Society of Cyberjutsu. Get involved. One of the other great things about them as an organization is they're really open to people who might be interested in speaking, who have never done like a conference presentation. So I believe their call for papers might still be open.
Okay. So the last thing I really wanted to dive in and talk with you about is your experience being a student at SANS.edu. What was it that drew you to the college?
So several years ago, I was actually working grave shift at the time, and I was doing like hack the box CTFs and stuff. And I would reference so many of like the SANS cheat sheets and the posters. And like that was.
So you're already in our ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. I was already really familiar with it, but I had never been a student here. And when it came time for me to choose a master's program, I decided that I was going to go for, we're often faced with the question of, do you want a degree? Do you want certifications, or do you want experience? SANS is uniquely positioned in that it gave me all three. I get to network with these industry leaders. I get to talk to the people that are writing the curriculum, that are building the tools that I'm using every day. I get to talk with my classmates that are doing the same work, and we're building off of each other.
Yeah.
But I also get certifications that are industry recognized.
Yes.
And I get the confidence and the research behind building, my master's degree and doing, which I got to figure out my thesis topic or my research paper topic. But, it really is a comprehensive system, and everyone knows that the value of SANS training is like top tier. Nobody in this industry denies that. I think what was most amazing to me is the value of the community. And the faculty, the staff, and the other students, the network that I've built out of this program is beyond measure.
I'm within SANS, but I'm removed from the college. But every time I talk to a SANS student, they talk so passionately about the advisors and the support from the advisors as well as the instructors in the program. You talk to, I've also had conversation about the different ways in which you can consume SANS training.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a preference either way?
Definitely have a preference for the on-demand.
You do?
So, I'm a mom. My son's a little bit older. He's about 17, about to be 18. And my husband is serving in the U.S. military. So flexibility was really important to me, and being able to know that I could continue to take my education with me if we were relocated, and fitting that in also. I mean, I work a full-time job, and sometimes in security, as everybody probably knows, your weekends and your nights can get a little unexpected. So the flexibility that comes with doing the on-demand, but still having the access through Slack, through community events, through stuff like this to interact face-to-face was the perfect balance for me.
What advice would you give to somebody looking at a master's program in cyber and giving thought to SANS.edu?
Without a doubt, don't hesitate to apply, but also invest heavily in your Post-it note stock, because we do a lot of indexing. I do a lot of tabs in my notebooks. It is important to stay really organized through the process of both applying and keeping your time management, especially with the on-demand courses. But really just connect with the community. There's a ton of us out here who are alumni and alumna that are more than happy to tell you about the experience we've had and give you the firsthand, especially with all the different specializations we have. Talk to somebody who's specialized in the courses that you're most interested in and get their feedback.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for rocking with us, hanging with us, sharing your wisdom. Good luck as you begin to think through the research and your thesis and finishing up the program. When are you expected to complete?
Hopefully by December. So
That's
end of the year.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you again. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day and get back safely.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's been hanging with us this week. We've had a fantastic time at the show. Definitely visit SANS.org/join to become part of our community, where you'll be kept abreast of all the live streams, podcasts, as well as white papers and cheat sheets and all the good stuff that we provide to our community for free. Next week, we'll actually be airing a next episode of our Wait Just an Infosec, which is our weekly live stream broadcast happening every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We actually have an episode that will be hosted by Rob Lee, pushing cybersecurity forward. We'll be talking with Wendy Whitmore of Palo Alto Networks. So join us next Tuesday, May 2nd at 10 a.m. Eastern. My name is Stephen A. Hart. Thank you so very much. Have a great week. Cheers.